Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host Tom Howe and I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news content that we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. Now on today's show, we join Young and Talented Cornwall to celebrate their 20th anniversary and the Lord Lieutenant's Fund, which has supported hundreds of gifted young people across the Duchy. We check in with St Austell Healthcare, who are inviting patients to share views on a proposal to relocate services and create a modern, accessible facility that meets the growing needs of the community. As well as that, we take a trip to the Stick It Rally presentation evening to learn about the generous donations they've made to local charities and community groups following a hugely successful summer event. We hear from Father Christmas, yes, Father Christmas, and Andy Jasper, CEO of the Eden Project, who tells us what visitors can expect when they step into the venue's biggest festive experience yet. And we welcome Caroline Childe, leader of the Forget Me Not chorus group in St Austell, who shares how the charity brings joy and connection to people living with dementia through the power of singing.
NEWSWAVE.
But first this week to an incredible evening showcasing Cornwall's next generation of talent, with support from household names and even a message from the Duke of Cornwall. Yes, the Duke of Cornwall himself. Before we hear from a couple of high-profile supporters of Young and Talented Cornwall, let's learn some more about what it's all about with programme coordinator Sarah Waller, who joined Cheryl Gordon.
NEWSWAVE.
All those years ago, it was set up by an amazing woman called Lady Mary Holborough, who at the time was the Lord Lieutenant, and Michael Galsworthy, and they saw that there was a gap really in terms of support for young people who were exceptionally talented. So those incredible kids who are our sportsmen and women, or amazing musicians, or fantastic writers, and they could see that because of how Cornwall is and how far away we are from lots of things, and the challenges around Cornwall, sort of financial barriers or geographical challenges, physical challenges, that they needed to try and find a way of supporting those young people to be able to achieve what they could in terms of their dreams. And so Young and Talented was created really to try and really give those young people the financial support, investment in them to make those dreams come true.
So, Sarah, why T20 is the first of its kind gala event? What inspired the idea behind this celebration, and what makes it such a unique and special event for Cornwall?
Oh, it's definitely a unique and special event. Well, we're celebrating 20 years since the fund began. So we've been very lucky that we've had some Arts Council England support to be able to commission 2 new pieces of work, working with artists that are connected to Cornwall. And again, it's that sort of the pathway that we're trying to show, going from being brilliant at something and then kind of through perseverance you get to do the thing that you want to do as a professional. So we've worked with a brilliant guy called Theo Clinkard, who was originally born in Cornwall and is now a professional choreographer and dancer and costume maker and works all over the world. And in the summer, we brought together our young people who've received an award from us, along with the young people from the Hall for Cornwall Youth Dance Company, because again, we're trying to show as many pathways in for young people. And they've made a piece of work that's completely new. So it will premiere at our gala, and it shows, you know, what it is to sort of keep persevering, to keep trying, and that everybody is individual in that. So that will be a really exciting new piece of work. And our anthem is called, this is the first time anyone's heard what it's actually called. It's called Fear Not to Fly. And the lyrics have been created by Anna Maria Murphy, working alongside our creative writing award winners. And again, it talks about, what it is to sort of have that moment of get to the edge of maybe a cliff or a beautiful gorse tree or something. And it's that thing about flying, going right to the edge of your fingertips and just going, yes, I've got this. I'm going to do this. So it's very beautiful. We're working with the incredible Cornwall Youth Choir, led by Angela Renshaw, who's been an absolute dream to work with in terms of helping to make this come to fruition, along with Gareth Churcher. And we've got some of our brass alumni, so brass ensemble, working alongside us. And I had a bit of a sneaky preview on Saturday morning as it came together. And goodness, it's definitely going to send a tickle down the end of people's fingers and backs of the necks is what we're hoping for.
Now, reaching 20 years is a huge milestone for Young and Talented Cornwall. What does this anniversary mean to you personally and the organisation?
For me personally, I just feel incredibly proud to be part of it. I mean, I've lived in Cornwall for over 30 years and I've seen the development of all sorts of young people because I've worked either within education or within cultural education. I've worked alongside lots of our primary and secondary school teachers, and I know what care goes into helping nurture our incredible kids. And being part of Young and Talented for me is being part of such a brilliant jigsaw where all of these people work hard to ensure that those young people have got a positive pathway in front of them. And the bit that we do, our bit of the jigsaw, is really unique, really important, because it's that thing where, for a lot of young people, they get to be so good at something, but then suddenly it becomes impossible because for lots of mums and dads, for all sorts of reasons, if you're training to be a fantastic athlete, suddenly the training is in Sheffield or in Manchester, and you're having to spend a huge amounts of time and energy and money to get to pursue that. And we've had young people who are now on Olympic pathways, who are going to be, the next Helen Glover, who we supported right at the beginning of the fund. We helped to buy her first boat. So in terms of what I feel, I get a real buzz. I get an absolute buzz when I know that there is such, possibility out there. And I think what Young and Talented does is it brings together a whole load of people who feel the same, either helping us by supporting us with financial support or through mentoring, giving their time and their expertise. And what we know is that we have got a really amazing generation of young people, and whatever we can do, whatever I can do to help build those bridges, that's what I do.
Sarah, you're like a bit of a fairy godmother almost.
I do. Do you know what? It does give me a real touch of magic sometimes when we've been asking our young people over the course of the 20 years, what did they feel like when they found out that they'd been supported? And we've had one young person saying she was squealing in the car with her mum when she found out, and she opened the email about, the fact that it really meant that she could take up a place to go with the National Youth Dance Company, which in itself is an accolade. But when you're, say a farming family on the Lizard, and that trip to Sadler's Wells in London several times over the year seems impossible, actually that's what Young and Talented is able to do and step in. And yeah, fairy godmother or not, I'm definitely not on my own. There's a whole load of fairy godmothers and others who make this possible.
Now, Young and Talented Cornwall have awarded nearly 500,000 and supported 300 individuals over the last 2 decades. Can you share any stories that illustrate the positive impact that this has made to young people in our community?
Absolutely. Actually, we've supported over 450. It's probably going to be nearly 500 by the time we've had the gala, but it's definitely, I think it's about 600,000 now. So we are really doing well in terms of supporting those young people. So some of the stories, I've already mentioned Helen Glover, but yeah, we really did help to find her first boat. So Luke Cowan-Dickey, who's, obviously plays rugby for England. We've supported Molly Cowdery in terms of pursuing her Olympic goals and dreams. We've got some some incredible young people who are, as I say, on Olympic pathways or who are pursuing writing careers. And we're now supporting individuals also with our STEM award. So we're realising that Cornwall has got this fantastic heritage in terms of innovation and science. So that a lot of the work that we're doing now is really supporting that pathway for those young people around new technology. So I suppose we'll have to wait and see what comes out of the next young people who we've been awarding over the last year or so.
Here's to another 20 years.
Absolutely. Definitely another 20 years. Bring it on.
Looking ahead, what might we be able to expect for the next 20 years of Young and Talented Cornwall? And how can we support you going forward?
Well, for the next 20 years, I mean, what we're realising is that there's no end to the talents that young people are presenting, and we're shifting and changing too in terms of how we're wanting to support. So like we've brought on 2 new awards, our Creative Writing Award, which has got mentoring as well as financial support for young people, and our Spirit of Trevithick STEM Award. And we're looking closely at where there are maybe other ways to support with mentoring, visual art. We've just awarded some young people who are filmmakers and photographers. So we're really conscious that we have to reflect that change and those new ways that young people are communicating with each other, and the skills and talents that might not be quite so obvious. It's fairly obvious if you've got a fantastic grade 8 flute exam, and it's fairly obvious if you manage to win a race. But actually, sometimes those talents are not quite so evident. So our job is to listen to young people, listen to the teachers and the parents and the sports coaches, all those people around them, and go, come on, this one's got potential. What are we going to do? That's what our young people are really needing at the moment. They need that sense of aspiration to say, you can, or what if? And I think that's the thing I want to leave, young people with here, or a parent, or a sports coach, or a teacher, or somebody that's listening. It just takes one person to support that young person to go, what if? What if we just bung an application in? What might happen? Let's see.
NEWSWAVE.
Let's hear from Geraint Richards, the High Sheriff of Cornwall now, and another big supporter of Young and Talented Cornwall, Radio 1 presenter Danny Diston, who hails from the Duchy herself.
NEWSWAVE.
So Geraint, what inspired you to select Young and Talented Cornwall as one of your focus funds during your year in office?
Well, of course, it's the 20th anniversary of Young and Talented Cornwall, so that alone is reason enough during my High Sheriff year to shine a light upon it. But it's much more than that. It's about young people with incredible talent, and we want to show the world that Cornwall has this talent, and for those young people that you can stay in Cornwall and develop that talent.
My next question follows on from that point. What barriers have you seen that challenge young people's chance to build their careers here in Cornwall?
Cornwall is the most extraordinary place, but it's not without challenges, and a lot of people don't realise that. We know there is a huge amount of social deprivation. We're a long way from the rest of the country, and if you've got this talent, the chances are that to perform, to train, you might have to travel long distances, you might have to stay overnight, you might be coming from an economically challenged background, and therefore it's going to be really difficult to fulfil your potential without further support.
YT, of course, are only too aware of these challenges and others that face young people. How vital then is it that we safeguard projects like this to support future generations?
Well, it's absolutely vital. Like we're going to see so much talent today in all sorts of areas: sport, art, music, literature, STEM subjects, and it's so important for Cornwall and I'd say beyond Cornwall that we help this talent blossom and really flourish.
And what would be your message, Geraint, to young people out there trying to chase their dreams?
Well, I'd say, reach for the stars, as they say. Go for it, and I think what we've proven from the track record of those who has been supported by Young and Talented Cornwall, that you can go and you can do the most amazing things, have the most amazing careers in something you're passionate about, and come from Cornwall and hopefully stay in Cornwall.
NEWSWAVE.
So first of all, we're here at the Hall for Cornwall, about to take in the Young and Talented Cornwall 20 event, 20 years of Young and Talented Cornwall. I just wanted to go back through your own history of someone growing up here in Cornwall. How did you feel, first of all, being invited to host tonight's event? And why did you want to get involved specifically?
I felt so honoured to be asked to come and host tonight. Growing up in Cornwall, as you probably know, very proud to be Cornish. It's my whole personality brand on the radio. If anything, I talk about it a lot. I don't shut up about it. So to be asked to come and do something here was so important to me, because to be totally honest, I haven't done a lot of hosting or work in Cornwall since I left. So I come home all the time to visit my family, but to actually be able to do something that's linked to my job and that I feel passionate about is so important to me. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, we absolutely love how patriotic you are, flying the St Piran flag. Growing up in Cornwall, what were some of the barriers to opportunities and building the career that you wanted to go into?
I think when you're here, it just feels like those opportunities are so far away. You feel quite separated to the rest of the UK. I'm sure everyone that's here understands. And in some ways, that's so magical and it's so special. But a lot of things, especially to do with media, for example, which is what I wanted to do growing up, it just feels like you have to be in big cities to get it done. And I think that's the hardest part, is we just feel a little bit disconnected to everywhere else. That's what I would say the biggest barriers are. And potentially a lot of people weren't doing what they wanted to do or weren't living out their dreams. And if you're not seeing that happen with other people, it felt like maybe it was hard to get there yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. Young and Talented Cornwall are addressing some of these with their fund and their different mentoring opportunities. How invaluable do you think this support is for young Cornish people?
The fact that you can see people achieving their dreams and having help towards achieving those dreams is what makes it so important, because it's having the inspiration of, oh, someone's doing that, which means I could do it, and people want to get behind me to do it. So even if it's funding towards buying something like a guitar to help you start getting better towards your musical career, or giving you the confidence that you've got people behind you being like, yeah, you can do that, let us help you. I think the money's so important, but it's also just the fact that someone's getting behind you and is inspired to help you do well, and that is the most important thing, I think.
Yeah, having people in your corner is so vital. What then, we're going to get quite deep now, what then would be your message to young people out there trying to chase their own dreams?
Give it a go. You've got nothing to lose. Why not? Just try it. If it doesn't work, try something else and have a laugh with it. You've always got to have a laugh. That's the main thing, I think. But yeah, give it a go. It doesn't matter where you're from, you can achieve anything.
NEWSWAVE.
OK, St Austell Healthcare is inviting patients to share their views on a proposal to relocate services from Park Medical Centre and Caroline Road Health Hub to Caroline House, aiming, they say, to create a modern, accessible facility that meets the growing needs of the community. Joe Allen met with Tash Hughes, Finance Manager of St Austell Healthcare and Project Manager of the redevelopment at Caroline House, who explains why the current sites are no longer suitable and what benefits Caroline House could bring.
NEWSWAVE.
Hi, I'm Tash Hughes. I'm Finance Manager for St Austell Healthcare. I'm also helping project manage the Caroline House project.
What are some of the challenges you're currently facing at Park Medical Centre and also Caroline Road Health Hub?
We get quite a few complaints from patients about access, both physical access into the building, Park in particular, does not have an automatic door, so patients in a wheelchair or a buggy, it's quite difficult for them to get in and out of the building. Similarly for the hub, it's got a ramp. We just heard today about a patient who, to get around the ramp is actually quite a long, steep ramp. So if you're on a wheelchair, that's also quite challenging for them. Once you get into the building, it does have an automatic door. However, it's quite a kind of navigation because it's got double doors to try and get into, or two doors to get in. So that's quite tricky, whilst trying to avoid the door closing behind you. So access is quite a big challenge for them. But also, I have, from a clinician point of view, two of the rooms were never meant to be clinical rooms, where we've got our social prescribers, a mental health team and pharmacists working from that room. If you've got two patients that sometimes come in together, they have to stand up and hold that consultation whilst the two patients are sitting, because otherwise their knees will be joining. That's how tiny that room is. It's not really fit for purpose. So we've got our strategic business manager, whose office was comfortable, but because we needed space to fit all of our medical secretaries, so these are the teams that do all the referrals, we had to put them into the bigger office, and we converted a toilet so that our strategic business manager could work from.
So that goes to show a lot of the challenges in these smaller premises that you currently have. They're not kind of fit and built to kind of withstand the staff and the amount of patients that you currently have.
Absolutely. So with 15% increase in population in the last 5 years, that's meant an extra 33% increase in staff for St Austell Healthcare. And so where do you fit all of those people? You know, we've done as much as we can in terms of sweating out the use of the building. We're now having clinicians who are having to work from home, doing phone calls from home because we don't have enough room for them to be in the building.
So what improvements or new facilities could patients see at Caroline House?
Access is absolutely the biggest improvement. We're working with our architects and the builders to make sure that a patient will be able to easily access the physical access into the building, so disability access. But also we are hoping to increase the number of rooms, clinical rooms. That's the aim of this, is the number of clinical rooms. Compliant clinical rooms, not tiny little rooms, and that will ensure that the patients and our staff are going to be comfortable in a sort of modern facility going forward.
And we heard a little bit today about a 4th floor. You're going to add another floor onto the building, and that's going to be a particular space which will be used by kind of community providers, things like that. Could you tell me a little bit more?
So the extra space will be for the integrated neighbourhood teams. So we're hoping that we'll be able to have multidisciplinary teams having meetings in that space, discussing patients, which at the moment has to happen via various forms filling and referrals backwards and forwards because we're not operating from the same space. So having teams, a space where teams can come in, work together, looking after the individual in a holistic way will definitely be of benefit for our patients, but also help us have the better working relationships with the wider kind of health workers from various settings.
And we heard a little bit about today. I'm sorry, I'm going off piece with the questions here, but you mentioned something about the kind of a communal garden space as well.
Absolutely.
Could you tell me about like the benefits of kind of having that space?
The benefits from that space, having an outdoor space where our patients could go from a well-being point of view. Ideas that we've had so far could be a garden, an active garden where patients could do some gardening, and we know the benefits of people being outside and as well as being able to be in touch with nature. Huge benefits from a sort of well-being point of view. People might not always have that ability to do that from home, so having that in a sort of group setting where you can sort of share your experiences whilst doing gardening, that will have massive benefits from people's well-being point of view.
I think we're seeing a lot more of these spaces pop up now, and I think it's brilliant, and I think they are effective, and I think they're working. So for St Austell, I think that would be an incredibly great thing to have as well. What are the main concerns that you've heard from patients so far?
Yes, so the main concerns are around transport, so public transport routes that will take them particularly from Park area into where the Caroline House building is based. Transport is the main concern. We've had patients concerned about accessibility, being a multi-storey building, but part of our plans is to have an extension to the side of the building, or to the front of the building, I should say, that will have a lift and stairwell that will take people through all the floors. Accessibility, being a multi-storey building, but also the number of appointments. People were concerned about not enough appointments. The whole ethos and our mission of having this extra building or having a new building is that we would increase the capacity that we currently have, therefore more appointments for our patients. And that's what this is all about, is to benefit our patients.
And how will the feedback from this consultation and the other consultations that are happening influence the final decision?
Yes, so this is quite a complex actually process, because we have to make sure that we're doing the right thing for our patients, get the feedback from the patients, and take that feedback to our commissioners, the Integrated Care Board, the ICB, and they make the final decision as to whether or not they would allow us to relocate or close Park and the Hub and relocate the services into the new building at Caroline House. So what we're hoping to do is also to keep all our patients up to date with all the developments. So we've asked for any of those who wish to share, who wish to know more about it, that we can email them the information as we go and develop.
And finally, what happens next once the consultation and survey are complete?
So the next steps are for us to gather all that information and then take that on to the Integrated Care Board, our commissioners, for them to kind of make the decision from that. But, you know, there's other bigger things that needs to happen in the background, and that planning approval. We've submitted our planning, so we'll be waiting to hear from that. That's a kind of up to 12-week kind of process for that to happen, as well as engaging with other partners in the system in terms of how we best use the service. We've started doing engagement with our own our own staff for how we can best lay out the rooms from a clinical point of view. So there's quite a lot of work that needs to happen between now and any decisions being made. But it's all positive. This is to secure healthcare for St Austell, and having a modern general practice that will support the future for the next 5-10 years, the sort of medical health needs of our patients in St Austell.
Excellent. And finally, I just wanted to add, can you remind people when the next consultations are, and how people can also get find the online form as well?
Yes. So online form, you can access that through our website, and also through the website there's a dedicated space where you can also have a look at the notifications and the kind of idea of the vision of what we're trying to do. So there's links there that you can follow.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, I'm Tom Howe and you're listening to NEWSWAVE here on Chaos Radio. Time now to hear from the team behind Sticker Vintage Rally and Country Fair to talk about their presentation evening, where they made generous donations to local charities and community groups following another hugely successful summer event.
NEWSWAVE.
Yeah, so my name is David Laity and I'm the president of Sticker Rally and Country Fair. I've been involved for just over 3 years now. And it's a wonderful community spirit that we run this event every year with the intention of raising as much money as we can for the local charities. It's a non-for-profit organisation, so everything that we raise goes back into the local community.
Let's talk about those wonderful events, those 3 days in August, which are just so memorable, aren't they? For anyone that's not aware, just what goes on during those 3 days? Because there is so much from sort of vehicles to stalls to burgers were mentioned a few times through there as well, weren't they?
Yes, well, let's start with the most important thing, which is, of course, the catering. We've got a wonderful catering team here that provide burgers and hot dogs and pasties and cream teas, savoury teas, cakes, teas, coffees, anything you can possibly think of to make sure that everyone is sustained during their visit. And it's, as you say, it's over a weekend. It's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 2 very long days. But there's many exhibitors here. So we have bikes, we have commercial vehicles, we have cars, stationary engines, traction engines, if you like, steam vehicles, and of course we have a car boot sale as well. So it brings everyone together that's involved with that hobby, if you like. We have lots of local companies that are able to come along, so people who provide local meats and the likes, handmade crafts and so forth. We have a wonderful craft store here. So yeah, it is a really wonderful event with thousands of people that will come along and support.
And underpinning everything is the wonderful fundraising efforts. Tonight you were able to support so many local organisations so that they can go on and make such an incredible difference as you do in their communities.
Yeah, so what's really important for us is that we try to support bigger charities from within Cornwall that need our support, and the committee will select every year 3 main charities. This year we had Hugs, East Cornwall Search and Rescue and Penhaligon's Friends, each doing different things for the community, and we were able to present them tonight with cheques for £3,500 each. And then we'll support the more local organisations, so within the St Mewan parish, as it were, the villages of Polguth, Sticker and Truan. Again, almost £2,000 this evening to those local charities as well. And of course, we're able to support the football club as well for allowing us to come here and fully participate in. The volunteers from the football club, in addition to the committee, put in a huge amount of work over that weekend and the year leading up to it, because I'm sure you can imagine it's not something that happens by chance. It's a lot of work that goes into that.
I was just about to say the clubhouse area here is thriving and full of people all working so hard to do something so amazing for the community. I'm sure you can't list every single person, but there must be a debt of gratitude and thank you to so many people.
Yes, I mean, I think we have to start with the committee. So we have a committee of around 20 people that have monthly meetings throughout the year to make sure that every aspect of the rally weekend is prepared meticulously, right through from health and safety to making sure everyone that comes here is kept safe, and then of course to making sure that we have as many exhibitors as we possibly can so that people want to come along. And if they want to come along, they'll give generously and support those charities, which is the whole idea of the event.
And the land as well, because these things don't just happen by chance. So there's a relationship there with different stakeholders and people in the local area who provide the opportunities for you to be able to do what you do.
Absolutely. So we obviously have Sticker Football Club where we meet, but the ground around where we have the exhibitors and also where we have the car park, and so we would not be able to do it without Michael Grigg and Roger May, the 2 local landowners who provide us every year with this land, and they're more than happy to be able to support the local community, which is fantastic.
John Vine there said something that might frighten you, that soon it's Christmas, and then just after that we'll be already in August quite quickly. It'll soon be here. What dates have you got lined up for next year, and what's in store for people?
It's the weekend of 1st, 2nd, 3rd of August next year. So we're hoping for good weather. We're hoping for lots of holidaymakers down visiting us, which we managed to get a lot this year. We moved our dates this year to be in August for the first time, and it seemed very successful, so we're going to continue with that weekend. Yes, there's already a lot of planning gone in, but I'm sure that we've got a Christmas bingo that we're running just before Christmas, which sort of helps us with our fundraising to be able to get things in place before. Then we've got an Easter bingo, and we try to put on these events. So it's not, although it's all focused on that one weekend, there's a lot leading up to that.
Yeah, it happens throughout the year, doesn't it? There's so many wonderful events and so much good being done. If people want to get in touch or find out more information, what's the best way for people to do so?
So we have a Facebook page which shows all the information, the dates and what we're trying to achieve. Or you can contact John Vine, who is our chairman, or our secretary, Denise Pooley, or come through to the Sticker Football Club and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. So we're always looking for volunteers. You can never have too many volunteers. To be able to put an event like this is fantastic.
Perfect. Have you got across everything that you wanted to get across?
Yes, I think so. I think we've had a wonderful evening this evening. Again, as I said at the end, you know, everyone here is a volunteer in some form or other, and their sole focus is to make the community that we live in a better place. And what a wonderful attribute that is for the people that we have around here.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, Christmas has arrived at the Eden Project, and I was lucky enough to head over to join CEO Andy Jasper and Father Christmas himself, yes, lucky me, to share how the iconic gardens and biomes have been transformed into a magical winter wonderland. We'll start with Andy, who tells us what visitors can expect when they step into Eden's biggest festive experience to date.
Yeah, this is my absolute favourite time of the year, and I just love what we've actually produced. It's not me, I haven't done anything, it's the team that have done this, and honestly it's just blown my socks off. I've been in London over the last few days, come back, and the place is just looking incredible. I'm just so excited.
Well, I've just met Father Christmas as well, and it looks like he and his team of elves and reindeers have been very busy, and the team here at Eden, because it is just incredible across the whole site as well. So not just here in the Mediterranean biome, there's things to enjoy across the whole site, and that's what Christmas is all about, and Eden as well, putting smiles on people's faces.
Absolutely, and I'm just so happy that Father Christmas has come back to the Eden Project, and in the core we've got this incredible Father Christmas experience that everybody, I mean, everyone who's been through it so far has just been raving about it. I think we've increased the capacity, so there's more tickets available this time than we've ever had before, and they're selling like hotcakes, so it's just fantastic. We've got the merry-go-round, we've got the ice skating, we've got incredible Christmas food, and then of course the biomes. I've never seen them look quite like this. I go to a lot of these Christmas events. I've been to Kew, I've been to Wisley, I've been to Stourhead, and you see these light shows, and actually there's nothing like the Eden Project at night at Christmas. It really is just so enchanting.
On a serious note, the narrative is, isn't it, that people are facing sort of challenging times, hospitality and business are facing more sort of challenging times than ever, but each year you really bring it out of the bag, don't you? Each year, I asked Simon earlier, your colleague, how do each year you go one better? What sort of level of planning goes into these things? And I dread to think what's going to happen next year. More light bulbs, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's certainly a case of more is more. And the team really start planning the day that we start taking the lights down. They're like, actually, let's do this. And imagine if we can do that. And my job is really just to try and find ways to say yes. And that really is the nicest part of my job. You are absolutely right about that economic challenge, and that's exactly why we've only put a charge of £5.50 for the lights experience. We just thought, actually, families really deserve this, and especially local families. So, combine it with your annual pass and that sort of thing, the local pass, it really becomes unbeatable value, especially when you compare to any of the other places.
Yeah, you're totally spot on. And it's not just the wonder of everything we can see around us, it's the education, it's the putting something into something much greater than ourselves here at Eden Project, and supporting so many different elements of your charity and your educational work and things like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The charity Eden Project is actually the way that you need to think of this place. It's literally, it's nearly 25 years old. We're 25 next year, and the things that we've been doing around the UK, around the world, but also most importantly for me and hopefully for your listeners, Cornwall. And, we've been regenerating the region. If you remember what it was like 25 years ago, people would never have thought about coming to this part of Cornwall for their holiday. And now this is what's actually drawing. It's been drawing over £2.2 billion into the local regional economy. And I was just so proud of that. And that's why we should be celebrating this whole thing.
And there really is something for everyone. There's things that, I really enjoy, and thousands of people come down for the Eden sessions across this summer. Thousands more come here again for the Christmas experience and extravaganza. Then like we said, you've got all your educational programs, all your visits. There really is something for everyone, and there's something different around every corner. Every time I come here, I learn something new.
I just love the way you've been describing that. Yeah, it's like if you think of our year, every week of the year there's something new to come and see. And this Christmas experience is really our way of just giving back and just saying thank you, Cornwall, thank you, St Austell, thank you, Chaos Radio, because honestly it is a time of gifts, and it's a time to just to think of how grateful we are with the place that we live in, and I just love that. And actually, it was so nice seeing Santa Claus with the young kids and that sort of stuff. But it's also when you start to see the families and the parents and the grandparents also responding in such a positive way. I love that.
And a remarkable 25 years. Here's to another 25 years, a big year of events, even more so than normal, I suppose, coming up in 2026. It doesn't give you any chance to put your feet up, does it?
We would never do that, I can promise you. And there's a whole series of little heartbeats. It's what we're calling heartbeats through the year, literally every month from, I don't know if you know our birthday, but it's actually the 17th of March, so it's St Patrick's Day. And from that moment all the way through the next 12 months, you'll see all sorts of amazing things that are happening, not just here in Cornwall, but also in London and different parts of the UK as well. And our job is to really try and help make Eden visible again, but also just help us say thank you to all the people that have supported us over the last 25 years. Do you know what? It's been nearly 25 million people through the door in that time. That's incredible. It's absolutely mind-blowing. From where you were to where you are today is fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We look forward to celebrating and sharing different stories and continuing to work with yourselves. I think Father Christmas is waiting to chat with you. So it's that time of year, isn't it? And he's got lots of lovely sort of families all embracing the moment behind us here as well. It is the best time of year, isn't it? It certainly is. Thank you so much, Chaos Radio, and happy Christmas, everyone.
NEWSWAVE.
So, Father Christmas, welcome to the Eden Project here in Cornwall. What a wonderful setting we find ourselves in here.
Yes, it's always wonderful to be here at the Eden Project. You know, we build a base camp here. We've been basing here for many years. It serves as our base camp for the entire UK. Yes, I do like it here. I mean, the lovely lights. I can practice my ice skating. I'm not very good at it, but I can practice if I need to.
Well, yes, I might need to practice with you. I'm not very good either. Lots of lovely green space out there for the reindeers to roam around in as well.
Ah, yes, well, the reindeers, they live up in the forests when they're not flying the sleigh, you see. It's a little bit difficult for them to take off down on the quarry floor. Not much of a space to get a run up. So if you come here, you might not see them around. They tend to stay up in the forest where they can graze, and they're a lot happier up there, you see.
And what about your elves, Father Christmas? Have they been up to much mischief?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. The elves have been here with me. They've been setting up our base camp for the year, ready for fun and excitement. And they love playing games and singing songs. And yes, the mischief is certainly there. But they are a jolly bunch and we love them dearly.
And the light show this year, it just seems to get better and better and better with every year that goes past, doesn't it?
Isn't it wonderful? I mean, looking around here now, all the colours and the shapes, the twinkles, just like flying my sleigh amongst the stars. That's what it's like walking round the biomes right here at the Eden Project. It's as magical as flying to the North Pole.
Now, are you ready to meet all of the wonderful children and families from around St Austell and surrounding areas? I caught you with a family there who just caught you for a quick moment.
Yes, as I explained to them, I've just arrived here and it was lovely to see them, and I can't wait to see all the local children from around about, and of course everyone from across the entire country who comes to see us. We like seeing everyone, and not just the children. The grown-ups are more than welcome as well. We welcome you all, one and all.
And can I get a Merry Christmas from you to the people of Cornwall and surrounding areas, and of course around the UK as well, and your very own Christmas message, if you wouldn't mind?
Well, of course you can. Give me a second here. Me. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho! I look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a wonderful time, my friends. Ho, ho, ho!
Thank you so much for your time, Father Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I hope you managed to put smiles on everyone's faces at this festive time of year.
Thank you very much, and thank you ever so much to you too. I'll leave an extra something in your stocking, Bird, being such a good interviewer. Well done, you.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, last but certainly not least this week, Forget Me Not Chorus. Now, they are a national charity dedicated to enriching the lives of those living with dementia, along with their families and carers, through community and music. They reach people online as well as in care homes, hospitals and local communities, including a group in mid-Cornwall at Mount Charles Church, alongside providing a library of free, pre-recorded singing sessions. Caroline Childe, the leader of the St Austell group, joined Mia Howlett to discuss the charity's aim to give participants joy and connection through singing, her motivation to get involved, and what people can expect from the sessions.
NEWSWAVE.
It's a chorus, it's a choir that supports those living with and alongside dementia. It's formed so that people come along and sing every couple of weeks and just feel that they can express themselves and are part of a lovely, beautiful community group where everyone is having very similar experiences and just want to come together and have the joy of music and the freedoms and the well-being that brings as well.
Yeah, as someone that's been in choirs before, I can definitely say that sort of communal singing, there's no other kind of feeling, is there?
There's nothing better than voices all coming together, and we get this vibration that just makes us all feel really, really great. We're also singing the same music. We are all wanting to achieve the same thing, and I think when everyone has a common purpose, obviously it builds community as well, and I think that's very, very important, particularly in this scenario, where people can find that maybe there isn't so much of a community that they could be part of. This certainly provides it.
Yeah, and you lead the St Austell group. I'm wondering, how has the local community in our area responded to this group so far?
So we've been going for just over a year really now, and we've had a lovely turnout every time that we come together. We have at the end of each, let's call it a term, it's not really a term, but at the end of each sort of section of our singing, we have a public sharing where friends and family can come along and listen to what we've achieved in the time that we've all been together and having a good old sing-song. And those sharings also have been really well attended, with people coming along and just enjoying listening to the music and being part of it as well. So we've had a really, really great response, but we just wanted to put the word out there that the more the merrier. Anybody else that wants to come that doesn't possibly know about it, it's every couple of weeks, and it's free, and you can come along and get involved, and that's what we just wanted people to know.
Yeah, that is so lovely. And I wonder, over that year, this is obviously quite a hard question because I imagine each week that you do it is brilliant, but are there any particular moving or memorable highlights that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, as you say, each week is absolutely glorious. But there was one particular week where we were singing "You're Just Too Good to Be True," that song, and there was a couple. People love to dance and things and move around, and they were sort of swaying together. And he was singing it directly to her, and it was just such a beautiful moment. You could tell it was a really special moment for them too. And I think that, again, it's that thing, this connection between people that are living alongside it as well as the people living with dementia. Some of the roads are a little bit tricky to navigate, and I think when they come together in song and these magic moments occur, that was just a particularly beautiful moment where you could see that there was just complete joy happening in the space.
Oh, that's so lovely. And as you said, you're currently open to new members, and the more the merrier. So can you tell us about what that process is getting involved? Do people need a diagnosis or a referral or even singing experience?
Yes, usually there is a diagnosis, but there doesn't need to be a referral. So it would be a case of getting in touch with the Forget Me Not chorus. There's a phone number and email that can be written to just to express an interest. And then no singing experience at all is necessary. It's just enthusiasm is what we want, is people that just want to come and have a lovely time. There's absolutely no requirements on vocal front. It's just come and sing and enjoy it. We don't use sheet music. We don't use lyric sheets. So we just navigate a song that more often than not is familiar to people, although not all the time, but sometimes. And we just do it really in little stages. And it will be that I'll sing something and people will sing it back to me. And then by the end, within 10 minutes, everyone's got the whole song. And we even do bits of harmony where people that may have had some experience of singing before, but also may not, they might just choose to partake in the bit of harmony. And it is so organic that even the people that think that they wouldn't be able to do it always do it. And the joy and surprise on people's faces when they go, oh wow, look what we've just achieved in, as I say, 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't take long for it all to come together. We're all in the same boat together. And I think that also helps with that sense of community. And if it all goes awry, we just have a good old laugh. It doesn't matter.
And as leader of the group, I'd love to know, where did your love for singing originate from?
I was singing when I was 14. I was in a school choir. So that was my start. And a musical theatre, amateur dramatic society as well. And then I was lucky enough to be encouraged to pursue it, and I had a career as an opera singer. So that was my job for many years. And then when my children came along and I realised I didn't want to be on tour anymore, I sort of settled down and have moved more into the realm of sort of one-to-one singing teacher, and I've run a couple of choirs before. Yeah, singing's just been in my life forever, so I'm very passionate about it.
I know, and I can hear it. It's wonderful. I mean, that must be quite the switch up, going from being a professional opera singer to then singing with the Forget Me Not chorus. What motivated you to lead one of these local groups?
I got approached by Kate Woolridge, who founded the choir. I was immediately, I felt a yes coming out of my mouth. There wasn't even a moment of thinking I wouldn't want to do this. So it was just like, yes, this sounds absolutely gorgeous. What I do love about it is that there isn't perfectionism required. And I think that my job as an opera singer required perfectionism in this musical forum. And this doesn't. And I love the fluidity of that. I love the fact that it's just for the pure joy of it. So you're right, it is an extreme from the working life of it, but it's meant that I can find the joy back in it as well without it having to achieve anything particularly sort of professional. But we do achieve, that's the ironic thing is, without putting the sort of the pressure on, we achieve absolutely huge amounts. And as I say, when people come to the sharings, they can't believe some of the sort of harmonies that we've managed to achieve. And we've just all been having a great time to get there.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to everyone that joined us at Young and Talented Cornwall's 20th anniversary celebrations, the public consultations for St Austell Healthcare's recent proposals, from Sticker Rally's presentation evening, the launch of the Eden Project's Christmas extravaganza, and of course to Caroline Childe and the Forget Me Not chorus. And as ever, a final thank you to you for listening and helping support local journalism to thrive. To catch up on all our coverage, as well as to check out our extensive back catalogue of interviews and shows, head on over to chaos.radio. And remember, if you have a local news story that you'd like to share with us, email news@chaos.radio or search Chaos Radio UK across socials. That's it, you're up to date here on Chaos. I'm Tom Howe. Thank you so much for listening. Whatever it is that you're doing in your community this week, be sure to add a little chaos.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.